Good afternoon, 7 minutes after 3 o'clock, 3:07 on this 20th day of April in the Lord's year 2016. I'm J. Michael McCoy. Welcome to the program today. Next hour, I want to already promote next hour because I think this is going to be it's going to be a barn burner. A lot of people are going to listen, and a lot of people are going to disagree. I met a man by the name of David Jackson. And David has written a book called Risking Grace. For years and years and years, David and his wife, I believe her name is Nita, they love Jesus. And they really felt that with proper counseling, someone who thinks they're gay could find their real true identity deep inside and would leave that lifestyle. They had it all figured out. Churches, tour groups, books, speeches. And then one day, their 16-year-old little girl came home and said, "I'm gay." Oh my. What would you do? He wrote a book. And he's going to talk to us about that book coming up next hour here live on The Truth. All right, Frank's here today. I'll just put that out there up front because I know a lot of people shut off their radio when they hear that.
Are you kidding? You say that's going to boost listenership.
Well, did you put on Facebook today that I'm coming on the air? Then what good is it to have you?
Well, okay, I'll just share
thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of followers.
Thousands. I'll just share your post from now on.
That'd be fine. Boy, the color is really messed up here. Bob Montserrat, the Cat in the Hat, who was is a huge podcast star. His podcast on the what was that on?
YouTube, CSI Iowa.
Villisca Axe
Murders. Mm-hmm. How many downloads have you had already?
16,700.
16,000. Wow. Speaking to the man who has never had 16,000 shows downloaded, Chris, how are you today?
I'm doing just fine. My ratings are non-existent.
Oh, no, that's not true.
No?
No, that's not true. You're a very popular man on the radio. There are hundreds of people. I know one guy for sure that wouldn't listen to this show if it wasn't for you. I know at least one.
This is a setup.
You mean if it wasn't for his presence here?
If he wasn't on the radio, because he's on, this person leaves the radio on so he can listen to what Chris says. But if I all of a sudden said, Chris isn't here today, click.
There's one person. Is it a male or a female?
It's a boy.
It's a boy.
It's a man.
Man. So we're thinking 45, 55?
Something like that.
So, you don't know?
Oh, I know.
Beard?
I don't know.
If you don't have a beard, I highly recommend them. They're lovely. Keep you warm in the winter.
Okay, here's a question.
In the summer.
Does your wife faithfully listen to you?
Absolutely not. I encourage her not to. She's got enough stress in her life, frankly.
She hears it all at home?
She does. She probably hears more than she wants at home.
Okay, according to his picture on Facebook, he does have facial hair. It looks like he has a mustache and goatee.
Nice.
Yes.
Excellent.
And that's all the hair he has on his upper body.
Well, there you go.
You know who I'm talking about yet?
KL?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
KL.
KL?
Yeah.
KL?
That's just a guess.
Who's KL?
One of your buddies, one of your bosom buddies that you was making fun of his wedding?
Kelly Lindbergh.
Yeah.
Yeah, he loves Chris Roloff.
Yeah.
And then, of course, we have our ace producer who's now on day 15, 16, 17. Is that right? Day 17. He has had a perfect show already. His perfect show was on day 14.
Oh, yeah, that's right, which is funny.
Yeah.
For those who know the history and intimate detail of this broadcast.
Speaking of humor, tomorrow is...
I like humor. That's I love it. I like humor. Woo! Man. We're going to have... Oh, I like humor. I'm looking forward to this one. Woo!
Tomorrow is Thursday.
Wow. Humor's good. I like that. Continue.
Tomorrow is National Drug Test Day.
That's very serious. That's very serious.
All right, news. Well, I want to do a couple local stories because then I want to get to. I want all my black friends are listening today.
That's funny, Mac.
I want all my black. If you're one of my listeners and you know a black friend, I want you to call him because I'm going to challenge this Black Lives Matter myth a little later on. Once again, I continue
Wait.
as a public service to put forth the absolute proof that black lives do matter. And you don't need to tell us anymore.
Oh, you're not saying that Black Lives Matter is a myth. Black lives do matter.
Black lives matter.
Oh, okay.
I'm saying this whole movement to make us think they don't matter is a myth. It's a narrative. It's a reason to it's a reason to disbehave.
So you're saying, if I understand you correctly, you're saying that people who say Black Lives Matter are trying to tell us that black lives don't matter?
No. Yes. No.
I'm confused.
Yes.
I'm confused.
I have heard some Republican strategists say that much like the 99% was a campaign designed to run against Mitt Romney, that the Black Lives Matter is a campaign to run against whatever Republican candidate there is this year.
Hands up, don't shoot. Dateline, Dallas County Republican lawmakers are ticked off at Democrats and are vowing to overturn provisions in a state spending bill banning a state driver's license station that would replace a county-operated facility in Adel. Friend of the radio show, Senator Jake Chapman, said Wednesday the measure approved by the Democratic-controlled Iowa Senate is an example of Washington, D.C.-style partisan politics that shouldn't be happening at the Iowa Capitol. The Iowa Department of Transportation already has 19 state-operated driver license facilities throughout Iowa, and it's wrong for the Democratic lawmakers to prohibit such a facility in Dallas County. Now, Representative Rob Taylor, Republican in West Des Moines, said he will be encouraging House Republicans to strike the Dallas County bill from a House version of the DOT's funding bill. The House subcommittee began discussing the measure Wednesday. Are you getting this yet, Chris?
Are you completely honestly
lost?
confused, to be honest with you, yes.
Let me try again.
Yeah, explain it to me, please.
The DOT has proposed spending $500,000 to establish a new driver's license station in Dallas County, probably in rented space in a commercial district in Des Moines' western suburbs in Dallas County. It would replace a county-operated driver's license station now operating in Adel that is scheduled for closure. Scores of Iowa counties operate their own driver's license facilities, and renewals and replacements can be obtained at self-service kiosks at a limited number of locations. Frankly, said Rob Taylor, Republican from West Des Moines, this is disappointing, and I am offended and I am angered. Oh, serious. You're offended and you're angry? Really? It's emotional? Taylor said, listen, the DOT did their job. There was no politics in this whatsoever. We have a population need that is shifting westward. We have a number of people from Polk County who drive to Adel for driver's license because it is fast and efficient. We have a parking issue, and we are growing so fast that we need that DOT driver's license station in Dallas County. You with me so far?
So this is Republicans want it. There are people who don't want it?
Yep.
All right.
Democrats don't want it.
We don't want people. What?
Is it because of the expense?
Yeah, is that what do they don't want?
Well, I'll get to that.
All right, I'm excited to know.
I'm a journalist. I need to read the facts, just the facts, ma'am.
All right, we're tracking with you.
Joe Friday.
So far, we understand that the DOT wants to spend $500,000, $500,000, on building a new facility to give us updated driver's license in Dallas County, so we don't got to go all the way to Adel.
First
right?
thing you got to
hang on, Frank. Is that correct?
I wasn't listening to you.
That's fine. Bob agrees with me. Continue, Mac. I want to know the rest of the story.
Senator Matt Mckoy, Democrat, who chairs the Senate Budget Subcommittee, on Wednesday defended the decision to prohibit a DOT driver's license station in Dallas County. He strongly rejected allegations of partisanship, and he pointed out that Dallas County voters have rejected bond referendum proposals 3 times to expand county facilities. Look, they are asking people to bail out Dallas County for what other counties are doing, McCoy said, no relation. It is just a sense of fairness. I think it puts them in an unfair position if we go build a beautiful license station up in Dallas County when in reality other counties find a way to do it themselves. You have to protect the public's resources, and that is what I am doing. Are you with me now? Do you understand?
So, I think so.
The Republicans,
it is a money thing.
The Republicans don't want county money used. Now, hold on. I might have said that wrong.
Well, it sounds like the Republicans want state money to build a DOT facility in Dallas County.
And the Democrats say, no, there are other facilities we need in Dallas County, more important than a driver's license station, because we just built a $20 million one in eastern Polk County, right out there outside of Ankeny. It is partisan politics at its best. Little boys and their toys. We're coming back. Jennifer Bowen says, you pass death with dignity, and you're going to open all kinds of doors of legalized suicide. No, that crowd would never push that far. Coming back live on The Truth.
Credit cards are like grandkids. They love you, sometimes get out of control, and it's fun to get a new one. Who can stop them from piling on?
Hi, I'm Tom Coates with Consumer Credit of Des Moines. At the end of the day, you can return the grandkids, but you're stuck paying off bad credit card debt. We'll help you put the fun back into using credit cards responsibly. Right, kids?
Yeah! If you need help getting credit cards off your back, call Consumer Credit of Des Moines.
Hi, my name is David Burrier, your Hope Coach. I host a live weekly talk show called I've Been There every Thursday afternoon at 5:30, right here on webcast1live.com, and on my weekly radio program Saturday mornings at 10 on Truth Network 99.3 FM. I interview common everyday people who have survived incredible life challenges and who testify to God's faithfulness in the midst of their storms. So join me as we bring a message of hope and encouragement. Everybody needs hope. I know, because I've been there.
Hey everybody, I brought Northern Lights Pizza! And it's got Graziano sausage!
Rock and Prevention is celebrating 25 years of creating a caring community. We want to say thank you to the tens of thousands of Rock High School mentors that have carried our message of health, love, and encouragement to over 1.5 million children, teachers, and parents. Our mentors teach children methods and skills to prevent bullying and drug use. Thank you to all the school administrators, teachers, and counselors for their opportunity to serve you. Rock on, fair citizens. Rock on. This is Pat McManus for Rock and Prevention, the Richard O. Jacobson Foundation, and this station.
From the RE/MAX Real Estate Concept Studios, this is Webcast One Live.
21 minutes after 3 o'clock, 3:21 on 4/20. 20th day of April in the Lord's year 2016. I'm J. Michael McCoy. Thanks for listening today to Max World Live. It's a program we do here every day, Monday through Friday, with a cast of characters such as Chris Roloff from KTIA.
Hello.
Frank Thomas, the verse, because this guy is like a brainiac when it comes to Bible verses. He's not perfect, but man, he's good. And also, of course, our scientists of the bunch, Bob Montserrat, the cat in the hat watching the chat, who's also reading your text calls. Well, I guess they're not wrong to call them text calls.
They're not calls, right?
Text messages.
Yes, text messages.
I do read and I respond, especially if we don't bring it up on the radio. Then I'll respond.
That's nice of you. But why don't we respond to it on the radio?
Because some days I'd be the only one talking.
515-809-0993. 515-809-0993. That's the Service Legends Truth text line. And if you'd like to call and talk to us, it's 515-244-0077. That's 515-244-0077. Next hour, I have a guest that I think is going to blow it apart. His name is Dave Jackson. His wife is Nita. In 1987, he wrote a book with Ed Hurst called Overcoming Homosexuality. After doing the research of the day, I bought into his theories that people could change their orientation from gay to straight. It wasn't until I'm reading a note from him. It wasn't until the year 2000 that his daughter came out. Earlier I said she was 16. It was 16 years ago. She was actually 25. This event started us on a journey of 1, trying to change her, 2, praying for her, and 3, finally praying, God, what are you trying to teach us through this? When anyone prays that prayer with sincerity, God answers. So what do you think God had to say to him? Your own daughter walks in, 25. Mom, Dad, I love you. I'm gay. What do you do? I've had that happen to me. My daughter, my youngest, and I'm not talking out of school here. She could sit right here and talk about it. She was engaged, and it fell apart poorly, badly. She decided to move away, and for the first time in her life, she didn't live in Des Moines, Iowa, or the metro area. Moved to that horrible, sinful, devil-filled state of Texas. And there, I say that because Chris is from Texas. There, she met a young lady. And when flying home from Christmas one year, she got in the car and she said this. This is how awesome this girl is. She said, Daddy, you know how you always tell me that I should tell you something before you hear it from somebody else, because then you won't be as mad if you hear it from me? Well, for all you folks that are parents, can you imagine that moment? Oh, no. Here it comes. She's going to use my own parental advice. She's going to say, look, Daddy, I love you so much. I'm going to follow exactly how you told me to tell you bad news. And she said, I'm gay. How would you handle it? Oh, you'd probably handle it well for a while. And then you'd question it. And you'd tippy-toe on eggshells trying to find the right way to bring it up. And then at some point you just turn it over to Jesus. And just as Dave and Nita Jackson said, God, what do you have to teach us through this? Their story next, 4 o'clock, here on The Truth. 515-244-0077, 809-0993. Can I read a funny story?
Yes.
and this is true, and this is Des Moines. I don't read funny stories I try not to read funny stories from far away.
Wow. Could we make that story any funnier?
Which one?
This one.
I don't know.
With a bow tie.
Oh. I had a big bow tie on earlier today, and Frank thinks I should be wearing it during the show. But what Frank doesn't realize is I have cameras on me now. And not even Bozo would wear that bow tie. Dateline, Des Moines, Iowa. Police are looking for a woman who allegedly stabbed her boyfriend this morning because she was what? Drunk? High? Intoxicated? Unloved? Dying?
She had curlers in her hair.
According to the report from the police, she was in a bad mood. Your wife ever in a bad mood?
Yep.
Your mother ever in a bad mood?
Yeah.
Your wife ever in a bad mood? Bob's not going to say anything. Your mom ever in a bad mood? Yeah? Okay. Well, you guys are a bunch of heathens because my wife's never in a bad mood.
Absolutely.
What a horrible thing
Yeah,
you
I
all
know.
just said
I
about
can't
the
believe-
women of your life.
That was pretty, yeah.
Police were called to a house at East 17th Street and Grand Avenue at about 1:48 p.m. yesterday afternoon on a report of a stabbing, according to a police report. When officers arrived, they found blood in the apartment and the hallway, and eventually an injured man. He had a sliced forearm, scratches on his chin, and what looked like fingernail scratches on his chest. The victim said his ex-girlfriend, I'm glad he said ex. Good thing he figured that out. Angela Thompson, 45 of Des Moines, woke up, quote unquote, in a bad mood. Began shouting at him. When the victim asked what the problem was, Thompson said, "You need to get a job, you lazy bum," unquote, according to the police report. Later, the man said he picked up his guitar and started playing. Thompson tried to grab the guitar away from him. That's when Thompson threatened to stab him. Oh, and we have the exact words. Quote, "I'm going to stab you. I value my freedom, but I'm going to stab you," Thompson said, according to the report. Thompson allegedly came at the victim with a 5-inch blade, lashing at him several times. Obviously, that's not funny. The victim said he didn't call police because he didn't want Thompson to go to jail. However, police issued a warrant for Thompson's arrest for willful injury. So the next time the person that you live with, male or female, or you don't know which, because it could be Caitlin, we don't know, could be right there. She's yesterday on the Wheaties box, now not. Woman of the Year, Caitlyn Jenner. Well, good morning, Stephanie. How are you today? And she says, "I'm in a bad mood." What will you do, Mr. Roloff?
I'm sorry, honey. That's not how he responded.
I don't think that's a good idea. Frank, what would you do? Good morning, Mother. How are you? I'm in a bad mood.
Apparently, if I was in this situation, I wouldn't play my guitar.
Aha, you see? She's not a John Denver fan. Never mind, Bob. I'm not going to put you through that. What I think is funny about this, what's funny about this? Obviously, the man got stabbed. He got scratched. He was bleeding. That's not funny.
No.
A 45-year-old woman now has an arrest warrant out for her. That's not funny.
No, that's not funny.
There's blood in the hallway. That's not funny.
Not funny.
Probably what's funny is how the women groups will try to turn this into that she was really the victim and he was really abusing her.
Ooh.
No.
Did I just hear Frank do that? That's bold there, Thomas.
I just went there.
Yeah. Call in and tell Frank what you really think of that silly comment.
Yeah, come on, you feminists. Let's hear from you.
515-244-007.
00 what?
0077. Not James Bond.
Are you awake today?
Yeah, I'm awake.
You seem kind of drowsy.
I'm trying to figure out. No, I'm good.
Are you still worrying about the DOT story?
No. I don't understand when Dallas County is in the kerfuffle with the DOT. I don't get it. No, but yeah, so how's this funny?
515-244-0077. Let's let James answer that.
All right, James.
James, you're live in Max World. How you doing today?
Great. Well, I've only been married 11 years, guys, and I know the answer to that question when your wife wakes up. What can I do to help? Come on, guys.
Ooh, that's good. That's
a good answer. That's a good answer, James. Way to go.
Yeah, you got to know that answer right away.
Yeah, because, see, here's the problem with your answer. I'm sorry. Yeah, you think you're sorry. You'll be sorry when I get done with you.
Oh, right.
Right, you're going to be sorry when I cut your arm off.
But James says, what can I do? Now, James, the only problem with that is, what if her expectation, I don't know, a little unreasonable? Like,
there's nothing you can do because you have no job. Then I'd probably swallow deep and go try to find a job.
Yeah, I agree. James, I think the funniest part of the story is after being told you better go get a job, he sits down and plays the guitar.
Hey, maybe the guy's a musician. Maybe he's trying to show. Maybe he's trying to.
You asked for it clause.
Yeah, you see, you don't think I have any talent? Because remember, his girlfriend's name is Angela. What's another name for Angela? Angel. So he probably started singing like Angel Eyes or Chris's Clown or something like that.
Who wouldn't snap?
What?
I said, who wouldn't snap? In her defense, if you started playing Angel Eyes.
So, James, I want to ask you this question.
What crabby wife in the morning.
Yeah, well, but it's 1:48 in the afternoon.
Oh.
I mean, they're late sleepers. They bloomed in for the day. So, what's your secret to a happy marriage after 11 years of wedded bliss?
Jesus in the center. That's the summary if I had to put it in 3 words.
Yep.
4 words. God damn it.
We'll make is the 1 word. Jesus in the center. So now it's 3 words. Because there's no truth nowadays. There's no right and wrong. It's just whatever I want to say. Jesus in the, that's 1 word, in the center. All right, James, I appreciate you calling. You're a good guy. Thanks for calling and laughing with us.
You're the best.
All right, bye-bye.
I'm guessing this wasn't the first time they had that conversation.
No, I don't think this was. I don't think he went, oh, I should get a job? That's no.
I wonder if he was one of those guys we used to see when I come walking down to the Skywalk to do View from a Pew.
Yeah. Yeah.
Honey, look how much money I made today pandering in the Skywalk.
Hey, there's some guys making money down there.
That's right.
All right. When we come back, a little slice of Americana right here live on The Truth. And I will once again continue in my trek of trying to explain to all people of any color, of any nationality, of any race, why the Black Lives Matter movement, it's terrible. It's a lie. It's unnecessary. It's an excuse to murder, rob, riot, to interrupt speeches, sporting events. Because Black Lives do matter. Who doesn't think Black Lives matter except black people? Have you ever... I've never had a white guy walk up to me, a Latino walk up to me, an Asian walk up to me and say, you know, I was thinking the other day, I don't like frog legs and black lives don't matter. Oh, and long hair. I'm not into long hair, so long hair doesn't matter either. I mean, that's just... But I will once again bring you just a little bit of proof that in the United States of America, right now, right today, all lives matter. I know, unless you're a woman and got pregnant, you want to have an abortion, and that life doesn't matter because it's not really a life. But I've got a story here. It's a true story. And I hope it makes sense to you because it's going to be the truth. Right here, live, 3:35 on 99.3 The Truth. Max World Live, powered by webcast1live.com.
Garlic butter makes amazing breadsticks. Now available in 12-ounce bottles at Northern Lights, Hy-Vee, and Graziano's.
Northern Lights Pizza. I'm Brian Leach, owner of Service Legends, and my position is Chief Talent Officer. I'm Nicholas Wonderscheid.
I am Bernie Hobbs.
And I'm the service manager,
Marketing Director and Client Relations Manager.
Everything that we do is about ensuring that we exceed your expectations.
Our clients are important to us. 100% satisfaction.
We're not just focused on heating and cooling. That's the easiest part of our job, actually, is fixing furnaces and air conditioners.
Everyone that we come in touch with, we want to improve lives.
Bottom line is, we've got our installation guarantees, 25% energy savings guarantee, comfort guarantee, temperature selection guarantee, property protection guarantee.
100% satisfaction guaranteed, fixed rate or it's free.
All of those guarantees are backed up with a 100% money back guarantee to hold ourselves accountable to making sure that you get what you're after.
Just fixing the problem today. If they have another problem 5 days down the road, it's still fixed rate or it's free.
We use what's called straightforward pricing. Our technicians are going to give you an exact to-the-penny price on what it's going to take before they move forward with any repair. That way you know what to expect.
It's the same price every day.
No surprises.
If you get off work at 5 o'clock in the afternoon, you come home, you realize that, oh, my furnace is broken. Now you need to call somebody out that night. You shouldn't have to pay more for that.
We're guaranteeing service 24/7.
We run afternoons, evenings, nights, weekends. We're staffed to work that.
Phone rings at 3 in the morning. You'll get one of our representatives answering the phone every time.
We're not sending you out to Timbuktu in some call center. It's our Service Legend team members, our mission control team.
I'll take a call anytime.
And then they answer the phones the same way during the day as they do at night.
It's a great day at your service company. How can we make you smile?
That's the only way to provide true 24-hour service.
When you're able to let somebody actually live in their home safely when they weren't able to do that before, where they don't have to stay up at night and worry about, is the heat going to come back on? Are we going to freeze the pipes? Is the baby in the room next door going to be sick because they got too cold? When you're able to help somebody overcome challenges like that, that's impacting a life. That makes a difference. I get goosebumps thinking about it.
I love the team. I love the people that I work with.
We have fun, but we work hard.
I call them my ambassadors of legendary service. If you could just envision what that is, that's who we're sending to your home.
They literally will call in, pick up the phone and call and say, hey, I want to talk to your manager. And I get on the phone, they're like, that technician that was at my house was the greatest technician ever. That's cool to me.
We want to brighten people's days.
Every person that we have going into the house has gone through an extensive background check.
Drug testing, we have a very thorough interview process that 1 out of 140 people make it through.
If we promise you something, that's what you're going to get, no matter what.
We're here when you need us to protect the safety and comfort of your family.
If you're not happy, we're gonna make it right.
If we're willing to put 100% money back guarantee on what we do, what type of work do you think we do?
Give us a call. We're there for you 24/7, 365 days a year.
Enough said.
.338, 22 minutes before the top of the hour. Max World Live here on 99.3, powered by webcast1live.com. You can go to webcast1live.com, webcastonelive.com anytime and look up any show and watch the shows anytime you want. Hundreds and hundreds of shows. Well, we do 5 a week, and we break them into 1 hour piece, so that's 10 hours a week. 52 weeks out of the year. That's 5,200 hours. Is that right? Did I do the math on that? That's not 520? Maybe it's 520.
Yeah.
And we've been doing this for 7 years, so that's 3,500 shows, and that's just Max World Live. Don't forget that hit show called Frankly Speaking.
That's right.
How many of those did you do? Like 3?
No, I think we 60.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. That's great. All right, coming up next hour, Dave and Nita Jackson. They wrote a book. It's about, God, what do you have that you're trying to teach me through one of the most difficult times I've ever had? 25 years old, their daughter walked in and said, I'm gay. This after they co-wrote a book in 1987, Overcoming Homosexuality. So he's got it in his heart that you can overcome homosexuality, and then his daughter walks in and drops that bomb. He's going to be live with us on the radio. I hope that you're listening. 20 minutes before the top of the hour, the incredible Chris Roloff in the house, and he's steaming. He's steaming because he doesn't like... I mean, the truth of the matter is you don't like when I talk about racial issues because... you're a bleeding heart liberal, and you can, what's the word I want? You can relate to the Black Lives Matter.
Sympathize.
How do I say this in a way that doesn't offend you, Mac?
Well, you can offend me. Offense is something I choose. You can't offend me.
Okay.
I can choose to be offended.
I encourage you to choose not to be offended by the following statement.
Okay.
You're an old white guy.
That's the truth, isn't it, Frank?
Last time I checked.
We're all old white guys.
Okay. And as an old white guy,
yeah,
I think that it is hard for people to hear you speak on these issues because they see you as part of the problem.
Because I don't think Black Lives Matter?
Right. I would imagine that most folks see adult white males as people who are, by default, probably racist, probably bigots. And if they live in a population where, less than 25% of our population is African American. Black, okay, fine.
They've never lived in Africa.
Okay.
I don't call myself an Irish American.
Right. But
do you call yourself a German American?
No.
Why? Why not?
Because I don't feel a need to.
Okay. Why do you think black people have a need to say Black Lives Matter?
I believe that they feel as though their group, their race, their people, as a people group, they have been oppressed and marginalized in the United States always, and still feel that way.
Always?
Uh-huh.
Always.
Yeah.
Frank, what was that law that we had that said I can't refuse to hire you if you're black and I can't fire you because you're black?
Discrimination, hate crime.
Yeah.
Affirmative action.
We have affirmative action in this country, which says that the color of your skin makes no difference. So we have a law that says I can't think the way you just described. We have Martin Luther King, who died for this cause. We used to have, do you remember what it used to, well, see, I'm an old white guy, so I do remember what it was like. I actually remember in Beatrice, Nebraska, 2 drinking fountains.
And really?
Yeah, but I thought it was kind of cool because we had 2 black guys in our town. One headed the whole energy deal, like the Mid-American thing, and the other brother, his brother, who they lived together, his brother was the shoe shine guy, and I loved him. He was awesome. And right next to his place was 2 drinking fountains. And you know what he used to tell me? He said, I get my own drinking fountain. And I thought that was pretty cool. That was pretty special that this guy gets his own drinking fountain.
But
that went away in 65, 67, something like that.
Can you, again, no offense to Beatrice, Nebraska, greatest place on earth. I'm sorry, Beatrice, Nebraska, greatest place on earth. But do you think it might feel a little bit different in Beatrice than it might feel, say, in
Detroit.
Alabama or in Detroit or in
sure, back in the 1800s. Let me teach you a little history.
Not even in the 1800s, man.
No, back in the 1800s.
When in the same time when you had two water fountains, one for black folks, one for white folks, in Beatrice, you pointed out that there were 2 black folks and you knew both of them, so maybe that was cool for them. But when the population is far more split, when it's far more even, and there's harder segregation, do you feel that would be different? Can you conceive that might feel different then?
Whose fault was it that we had slavery in America? Who brought slavery to America? Who encouraged slavery in America?
The British and the blacks.
I was going to say lots of people involved in it.
Black people sold black people.
To the British.
White people bought and sold black people too.
But
let's not go down that road because I just think
in 1865, President Lincoln eventually got killed for it.
I am by no means. I just want to say
he split the country in half and said we're not going to have slavery anymore.
Right,
and the Southerners, the Baptists, the Bible Belt said, "Wait a minute, you're not taking my slave away from me." And the North said, "Yeah, it's really not right. We're not going to do that anymore." Then we passed law after law after law. I mean, I grew up in an era where I remember the TV commercials that said, a mind is a terrible thing to waste. Support the United Negro College Fund. I grew up in that era when we began as a country to say there's nothing wrong with the color of your skin. I was one of those guys. Why is it different because your skin's color? Well, you know who told me it was different because my skin was a different color?
Black people.
It wasn't a white person. It was a black person that told me that. Who's been president for the last 8 years? The president, the world's most powerful individual human being that by a democracy, a republic, and one vote, one man, who did we elect for 8 years? A black man. Now, we're going to have a black woman on American currency. The first woman on American currency,
Hillary Clinton,
will be a black woman. Do you know who Harriet Tubman was?
I know the name, yeah.
Okay. She was a leader of women's suffrage, added to the black suffrage. She was one tough old broad. She didn't put up with anybody's crap. A Treasury official confirmed that Tubman's portrait will now appear on the $20 bill. How could anybody ever say that in this country, black lives don't matter when we're going to put her on our currency? Do you think there'll be anybody out there who refuses to use a $20 bill because there's a black woman on it? Probably some hillbilly from down south who still wants to live in, the 1800s and own everything he wants.
And maybe some white supremacist groups.
Sure. But for the most part, we just took a black woman who made an indelible difference in our country, and we're going to put her on our money. And yet we have 18, 19, 20, 21-year-old people running around trying to convince us that black lives don't matter. It's a scam. It's a scam.
May I suggest, this all fits into your story yesterday about the lady in ISU and the harassment and the WNBA, and she got kicked out of the WNBA. She's looking for her reparations, her pound of flesh from slavery, because they feel they're owed.
What's your thought? 244-0077. I know it's a hot topic. I know it's a little uncomfortable. Are you willing to say something? How about on the text line at 809-0993 or your voice at 515-244-0077. Do Black Lives Matter? Next.
From the RE/MAX Real Estate Concept Studios, this is Webcast One Live.
Credit cards are like grandkids. They love you, sometimes get out of control, and it's fun to get a new one. Who can stop them from piling on?
Hi, I'm Tom Coates with Consumer Credit of Des Moines. At the end of the day, you can return the grandkids, but you're stuck paying off bad credit card debt. We'll help you put the fun back into using credit cards responsibly. Right, kids?
Yeah! If you need help getting credit cards off your back, call Consumer Credit of Des Moines.
Rockton Prevention is celebrating 25 years of creating a caring community. We want to say thank you to the tens of thousands of Rock High School mentors that have carried our message of health, love, and encouragement to over 1.5 million children, teachers, and parents. Our mentors teach children methods and skills to prevent bullying and drug use. Thank you to all the school administrators, teachers, and counselors for their opportunity to serve you. Rock on, fair citizens. Rock on. This is Pat McManus for Rockton Prevention, the Richard O. Jacobson Foundation, and this station.
Northern Lights Pizza, your home of the tasty crust. Our garlic butter sauce now available in 12-ounce bottles at Northern Lights, Hy-Vee, and Graziano's.
Northern Lights Pizza.
Hi, my name is David Burrier, your Hope Coach. I host a live weekly talk show called I've Been There every Thursday afternoon at 5:30, right here on webcast1live.com, and on my weekly radio program Saturday mornings at 10 on Truth Network 99.3 FM. I interview common, everyday people who have survived incredible life challenges and who testify to God's faithfulness in the midst of their storms. So join me as we bring a message of hope and encouragement. Everybody needs hope. I know, because I've been there.
From the RE/MAX Real Estate Concept Studios, this is Webcast One Live.
.350, 10 minutes before the top of the hour, Salem Radio Network News. And next hour, Dave Jackson fought hard to try to save the lives of young people who felt that they were broken, sinful. We're all that. This individual worked on the sin of homosexuality until one day, his 25-year-old married daughter with a child walked in and said, "Mom, Dad, I'm gay." They prayed to Jesus to save her, change her. And then finally, Jesus, what are you trying to teach us out of this? That story coming up next live here on The Truth.
Who the Black Lives Matter people ought to be mad at, instead of the white man, they ought to be mad at Democrats. If anybody's ever watched the history of how the blacks migrated from the South to the North during the Depression, they moved into cities like Detroit and Chicago. They had good lives. They had nice housing. They had paved sidewalks. They had lit sidewalks. They had a great life. They had their own businesses. They had cotton clubs. They had it all going for them until Democratic policies and Democrat politicians started taking over the big cities, and their policies is what's ruined their cities. Now you find that the blacks are now migrating back south.
Why is that?
For the schools, for good schools, for a better life for their families, because they can't have those lives in Detroit, Chicago, Philadelphia, Baltimore, places like that. So they're fleeing the big cities, where in the Depression era, they moved to the big cities for a better life. But it was Democratic policies that ruined their dreams. So if Black Lives Matter want to be PO'd at somebody, they need to be PO'd at their party that 90% of them vote for. Go Hillary.
Ooh. Did you say that in my ears out loud? Go Hillary?
That was a sarcastic go Hillary.
515-244-0077. That's the number you'd call if you want to get on the air in Mac's World today. Paul, you're live in Mac's World. How you doing today?
How you doing, Mac?
Good, buddy. Glad to hear from you today. Wouldn't be a day if I didn't hear from you.
Well, there you go. So here's the deal. It's kind of like melanin rich. That's everybody's dark skin. They got to get rid of the black altogether. Just call them melanin rich or melanin deprived. I'm kind of stuck in the middle somewhere. During the summertime, I get a little bit more melanin in my system.
Because you're out in the sun?
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, wouldn't that be politically correct? Rather than to say they're black, they would say they're, what is it again?
Melanin is the color tone or pigment in your skin. Plants, animals, everybody has it. Unless you're albino. So you either got melanism, which you're extremely black, if you've ever seen that before, or you got albino, which is all the way on the other end of it.
Well, I'll blow you away on another level. I don't know if you've ever heard this, but I have some biblical historians who has told me there's a really good chance that Jesus was black.
Yes, he was. He's born in Canaan, in that area. Canaan was son of Cush. And I think he is son of Ham.
So if wouldn't that kind of prove that Black Lives Matter? Because
everybody
my
matters,
king and Lord had black skin.
Well, that's what I said. Everybody matters on that situation.
I think
it doesn't have anything really to do with skin color. Black Lives Matter has to do with the black LGBTQXYZ community.
Yeah.
The ladies that are running this are transgender lesbian organization, and that's who's putting that on.
And the Black Panthers. I mean, when Ferguson, Missouri blew up, it was Black Panthers coming in from Detroit, Baltimore, Philadelphia, those areas that Frank mentioned earlier that came down and threw fuel on the fire.
That and a couple of gang members and things like that, yes.
Yeah, Frank?
Oh, I was just going to mention, I don't think Christ came from Ham's bloodline. I think he came from Shem or Japheth.
No, check again. He come from Canaan. That's where Ur was at and all that other, at the time frame, yes, he was a Canaanite.
Well, I don't know. So I can let you two talk about that all day, but I'm going to say goodbye to Paul.
That's where Abraham come from. But anyway, that's beside the fact.
All right, Paul, thanks for calling. I appreciate it.
Yep, bye-bye.
515-244-0077 or 809-0993. That is on the Service Legends Truth text line. If you've got something you'd like to share. Bob, has anybody texted us today?
Yeah, I got one that says, great point.
Which one?
I don't know.
Well, what time did you get it?
3:53.
3:53. Okay, well, that would be I think that would be the point that Jesus was black. And it doesn't make any difference. And if Jesus wasn't African-American black, he was certainly Arab dark. Now, I'm Irish white. Bob, you have a darker skin. What are you?
We come originally from the French and Spanish border.
All right, so you probably have some Latino in you, maybe, that gives you a darker pigment?
I don't know if they call people from Spain Latinos.
Well, Spaniards?
Yeah.
I just don't know why color matters. Unless you're trying to be offended and say, I'm going to find something to be offended about, and I think you don't like the color of my skin. And no matter how many times I tell you it doesn't matter, eventually you're going to make me believe that you think you're less of a person because of the color of your skin, not because I think it, you think it.
I think it has, it's not simply a color of skin issue. It is a history issue. It's the story that we're born into. We're born into a particular narrative, right? I come from a middle-class white family. My parents are still married. I have the same parents that when I was born. I come from a particular history. I have a line, a genealogy, and that affects things. I think it's more about our genealogy and our history than it is necessarily the color of our skin. And I think that's part of the confusion in the whole thing is it's not just the color of someone's skin. It is really about the world that they were brought up in, the opportunities that they have, and part of the history and the heritage that they grew up in. They have a story that they're continuing to retell, and it's difficult to change the story that you've been told your whole life. Whatever that is, Mac, you've got a story that you've always believed. It's hard for someone to change that narrative for you.
But it's possible.
It's possible.
Jesus did that for me.
Yes.
I had an identity that was not within him. I had an identity in what I was told who I was and what I was and what I wasn't.
Right. And I would say you're exactly right. The power to change this thing is in the gospel, not in saying do white lives matter or black lives matter or making this a race issue, but making it about the power of the gospel to change someone's identity historically, their narrative, change their future, change who they are, give them a new family, give them a new peace, a new reality. And the gospel does that in amazing ways and causes and enables people to love people that like no other message can.
Frank?
That's great thoughts, and I really enjoy those, but there is a cottage industry, a race cottage industry, which people are profiting on in this country.
Yes, I would agree. All right, great interview coming up. I think it's going to be great. I just have an idea it's great. Dave Jackson, it's coming up next live here on The Truth. That's right, I told you, The Truth.